Let's do a little post-mortem on Series 14 of Doctor Who, now that we have a few more numbers in the ratings quiver to just go to show everything and everyone that this series, after the Disney money came in, have been negatively affected by this. Hopefully, the first person to leave said ship, Millie Gibson, doesn't follow a similar fate, because outside of a couple of cringe things, she's in her early 20s for Christ's sakes, she doesn't seem all that bad, okay? Just, doing Kardashian impressions. It's like, I wouldn't expect anything else from an airhead in her 20s. So it's like, it doesn't really make me cringe more than anything else I normally see from E-Thoughts. But RTD justifies the Davies of Doctor Who Ruby reveal with surprising inspiration. Because, it's not just this series, okay? It's not just that Series 14 went off the deep end when it comes to identity, politics, and intersectionality. It's just the writing was really bad from top to bottom. And one of the things, actually, it was the overarching plot line of the entire series was, who is Ruby Sunday? What is her lineage? What does it have to do with anything? And then at the end of it, it all came out that she's just nobody. She came from nothing, because RTD, well, as it's going to go on to illuminate, ended up finding inspiration from one of the most divisive movies the past decade. Russell T. Davies has justified the Ruby mystery reveal in Doctor Who's episode Empire of Death, disclosing a surprising source of inspiration. The finale episode of Doctor Who Series 14 finally unveiled that Ruby's mother was not someone of any form of unique lineage, but rather an ordinary girl named Louise Miller, turning many fan theories on their head. Yeah, because it was stupid. It was always stupid, and especially when you throw in the context of 73 yards with her ethereal mother constantly pointing at her, but oh no, wait, she wasn't pointing at Ruby, she was pointing at a sign behind her. Fuck. Okay, the reaction among fans was sharply divided following the revelation. Yeah, it was divided. People still with any sort of emotional attachment to Doctor Who and Russell T. Davies. Okay, that was the divide. Yes, a number of fans expressed disappointment on social media, having anticipated a reveal that tied Ruby to a grander heritage. Interestingly, the Doctor Who video commentaries for the episode, Davies pointed to the Star Wars sequel trilogy as a major influential factor for his narrative choice. Anybody positively looking at Star Wars or the Disney Star Wars trilogy and trying to get writing inspiration from it, it's like, you already know that that's a giant red flag. But everything that RTD has done since he's come back has been met with giant red flags. He explained, this is the kind of reaction to, bear with me now, the Star Wars films. I can't remember their titles, but the last trilogy, the second film, The Last Jedi, said that Daisy Ridley was nothing special. There was nothing special about her parentage, that she just got the Force. She was ordinary, until it came out that she was Ray Palpatine after all, so it looks like he got inspiration from the incomplete story. Good stuff on that one, you absolute dope, and that's probably why the Empire of Death is the lowest rated, lowest viewed episode of Doctor Who. Not just of this season, now that we have the +7s and the +7s and 4s, but the lowest viewed episode in series. Not just 14 series, 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th, in series 61-year-long history. +7s are supposed to more accurately comport with traditional metrics, okay, non-iPlayer viewership. So yeah, 3.05 stood and still stands, because it's very likely. I would be shocked, okay, if the finale was that low, given the fact that, the overnight was slightly higher. But that right there it's the record holder. Surprise! Another record was shattered. It wasn't so much that it was the lowest overnights in series history, but then it ended up being the lowest +7 in history. But guys, don't worry, a bunch of other people inside the same house continue to refresh on the iPlayer, leading not to the lowest +4s ever, but couldn't quite get the trifecta. Better luck next time. Better luck next series, because that's going to be about it. And this was supposed to be, right? Like, this was supposed to be the launching point for a brand new Whoniverse, because you had the bi-generation at the end of the 60th anniversary special, meaning that all of the Doctors could subsequently exist in any given point in time. That means you could have had any of the classic Doctors pop up. You could have had Matt Smith while he's busy doing much better shows. You could have had Christopher Eccles. Oh, wait, no, he's never coming back to the franchise, especially if RTD is still attached to it. You could have had Peter Capaldi. Oh, wait, he's still in the same. But you could have had Jodie Whittaker come back or David Tennant come back. But I kind of think that all of those plans are on hold, mostly because, well, you have the only person, okay? The person who has, in fact, sullied his own reputation. Like the 10th Doctor is still fine. His legacy is still intact. But trying to run back the 14th Doctor, okay, David Tennant's second stint, trying to run him back for viewership when, you know, you just take a look at the viewership of that anniversary special and, well, it's better than the 14th series. Still isn't anything to write home about. He's deciding to also go down with the ship. Because, okay, this is kind of a weird situation that he finds himself in, okay? Doctor Who star David Tennant responds after UK Minister for Women and Equalities announces plans to legally define sex as biological. I don't wish ill of her, I just wish her to shut up. And actually, he'd go a step further in wishing that she never existed. It's kind of strange, right? Because on one hand, okay, yeah, he's standing up for the gender ideologue, so he's pandering to the left very hard. And okay, yeah, conservative politician, there you go, you're going to get brownie points on that one. But this is also Kimmy Badendock, by the way, who he's making these comments about. And, well, as you can see, wouldn't that end up being necessarily disassociation territory from the left because you're also criticizing a black woman and wishing incredibly ill will on her? Oh boy, literally anything that this current incarnation of Doctor Who touches turns to liquid shit. A recent appearance at the 2024 British LGBT Awards, Doctor Who star. Is that the best? Is that the only thing that he can do right now? God, that sucks, because even as big of a psychopath as David Tennant is off screen, he's an awfully talented actor. Can't take that away from him. Had some choice words for United Kingdom's current Minister of Women and Equities. Why is that even a division? God, I hate governments. Kemi Badendock regarding her stance on certain transgender issues. Well, you know, I would say English definitions, but okay. Member of the country's Conservative Party, also, yes, known colloquially as the Tories. Recent years have seen Badendock draw the ire of transgender activists who were noted opposition of their own socio-political beliefs. It's the J.K. Rowling position. Okay, there you go to sum everything up. Speaking to an unknown party in 2018, an audio recording of which was later leaked to the public 3 years later, career politician can be heard voicing both criticism and confusion towards the current state of transgender rights movement. Okay, is no longer about minority rights in terms of race anymore or nationally, Badendock rants. It's now, you know, like it's not even about sexuality now. It's more like this whole transgender movement where, okay, well, we've got gay marriage, civil partnerships, so what are transsexuals looking for? Even when, you know, so people hear about it, you know, like the whole bathroom thing, it's actually more of an American thing, but they have a similar problem that, right, so now, it's not just about being free to marry who you want, you now want to have men using women's bathrooms. It's like, oh yeah, no, she even got that back in 2018, that this wasn't something that you could just simply dismiss as the slippery slope. Going on and hearing from what, oh my god, is that what he's looking like these days? That's tough, man. Okay, but Tennant accepting this award that's, I don't know, very strangely shaped, but I thought it was presented on a chair with a fist on it, but okay. I'm honored to receive this. I'm thrilled to be here and to be a part of this tonight. The Doctor Who star with a trans kid, that's the only reason that he's doing all this crap, began his acceptance speech with a slogan, a reference to a regular wearing of his shirts that bear such pro-trans text as, "Leave trans kids alone, you absolute freaks, and you will have to go through me." Well, you're a very wafy 5 foot nothing, so yeah, if you want to be aggressive, you should probably have a backup, and given the fact that you're from the UK, know that you're not strapped, well, at least not in that context. So yeah, you don't really inspire too much fear. Unless, of course, you have a sonic screwdriver or a vat of polyjuice potion where you can transmorph into somebody a little bit more intimidating. I attract the ire, the occasional online idiot, but I don't have social media, so even I have to be told about that from my brilliant wife, Georgia. Who is the real engine behind anything we do? She educated me about empathy and understanding. Yeah, because he's a cuck that signed up to have stepkids, and yeah, it's one of his stepkids that's trans. So, oh well, sucks to suck on two ends on this one. And she has been a huge educator for me. But I think, if I'm honest, I'm a little depressed by the fact that acknowledging that everyone has a right to be who they are and want to be and live their life how they want to live it, as long as they're not hurting anyone else. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Okay, that's what people are pointing out. It's like we're on the same side here for the most part, but you think that people, wanting to enforce the same standard, that if kids aren't educated enough to, or rather developed enough to purchase cigarettes, drink, drive, vote, they probably shouldn't necessarily have the say to, inject chemicals into their bodies that are otherwise foreign to them, as well as make life-altering surgical decisions. Strange concepts like that. But yes, any kind of special award, special mention, because it's common sense, it's human decency. We shouldn't live in a world that's worth remarking on. Turning his attentions to Badendock herself, the actor added, and here's his words, not mine. However, until we wake up and Kemi Badendock doesn't exist anymore, I don't wish her ill, or I don't wish ill of her. I just wish her to shut up. Okay, so I don't want her to exist anymore. That's, I guess you could kind of say that maybe, he's talking about the archetype, the Kemi Badendocks of the world, not her specifically, but just, if she would just, if that strong, independent black woman would just shut up here real quick. I don't wish any ill of her, but, if she'd never talk again or have the ability to for the rest of her life, if she would just simply identify as a mute Brit, that would be fantastic. I mean, in certain contexts, okay, and depending on, how judiciously the hate laws get enforced in your country, that could end up being seen as a very, very naughty statement, David. One that might win you brownie points with Russell and your wife, but very few other people. But hey, man, I think that's just the fate of anybody in association with latter-day Doctor Who, okay? Right now, you think that you're winning hearts and minds, that you're standing up for lesser represented people, but the only people that are lesser represented that you're not standing up for is your current audience. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.